flowing. Hello, relatives, and welcome to another session of trauma-centered, trauma-sensitive yoga. Today, you are joined here with me. I'm Mariah Jensen, our social work intern here at HIR Wellness, as well as Valerie, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yes. Hi, my name is Valerie, and I'm an occupational therapy intern here at HIR Wellness. And what an occupational therapy is, we are mentors of hope, dignity, and function who help individuals reach their highest potential through methods as dynamic as each individual. OTs are also enablers of independence and facilitators of passion to support long-term and meaningful goals to an individual.
Thanks, Val. And we're also here with Kristin, if you would like to introduce yourself as well.
Yeah, hi, I'm Kristin Verdeen. I am here today to practice a style of yoga with you that is really designed to help people who've experienced the kind of trauma that happens in relationships. And it's a very exciting style of yoga because it kind of really helps focus on how to take the brilliant ways that our brains and our bodies adapt in order to help us survive, and it helps us kind of work with those in order to kind of like what Val said, just kind of find our best selves, like a way to kind of move through that and into not living in a space anymore of feeling like something is holding you back. So I'm excited to be here to practice with you today.
Thanks, Kristin, and thanks, Val. And like I said, my name is Mariah, and I'm the social work intern here at HIR Wellness. And what my role here is pretty much to help lead and facilitate groups and lives that HIR Wellness provides by providing a space for emotional support through counseling services, as well as connecting individuals to resources and really just being that support for everyone. And so today we're going to be doing I'll read some elders meditations and touch on a mental health exercise. And then Kristin will guide us into our trauma-centered, trauma-sensitive yoga. And like she said, it's really just a place for us to heal together. And what you'll see trauma-centered, trauma-sensitive yoga abbreviated in the comments section below as TCTSY. I will be down there moderating. So when you see HIR Wellness pop up commenting, that's me. So if you have any questions during our live session, please feel free to put them in the comment bar below, and I will be there to answer any questions or anything you have. And if you feel like messaging HIR Wellness's Facebook page privately, you may do that as well, and I will be available that way too. So before getting into the mental health exercise, I wanted to read and bring in the elders meditation for today, just to kind of open up the space in a good way. So today's elders meditation reads: silence and self-control permeate the entity of our lives. The Creator gave us all the red road, and on this red road, we are required to think and act in a spiritual way. To make sure I conduct myself according to the red road, I must make sure I develop my self-discipline. Self-control works best when we pray for the courage and power to do the will of the Great Spirit. We are here on the earth to do the will of the Great Spirit. Sometimes we must battle ourselves to do this. Larry P. Etikin, Chippewa. So relatives, I welcome you to sit with this meditation and drop any comments you're feeling in the comment bar below. Like I said, I think that this meditation is a great way to bring us into the breathing exercise that I would love to do with you all before Kristin starts. And so what I wanted to do was a breathing exercise called 4-7-8 breathing. And I'll put the directions in the comment section below. So what 4-7-8 breathing is we are going to breathe in for a count of 4, and then hold for a count of 7, and then exhale for a count of 8. So if you all want to join me, we're going to breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 7, and exhale for a count of 8. We can do this again, breathing in for a count of 4, holding for a count of 7, and exhaling for a count of 8. Do it one more time. Breathe in for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 7. And exhale for a count of 8. So I kind of like bringing in some breathing exercises to get us grounded before starting the yoga that Kristin will be bringing to us all. And I also would like to read a part of our book, which is called Overcoming Trauma Through Yoga, Reclaiming Your Body by David Emerson and Elizabeth Hooper. And this is what it looks like. You can all see okay. What TCTSY is really talks about, there's 4 main key things to practice, being practice making choices, noticing body sensations, and creating rhythms, as well as taking effective action. So today I wanted to read a passage in the book that talks about taking effective action. So I'll just read this paragraph. And again, relatives, I welcome you to drop any questions, comments, or anything that's sitting with you in the comments below. It reads, along with the lack of choice, traumatic sensations often involve experiences where all of our energy is directed toward getting away from a threat, but for some reason we cannot escape. When we are threatened, our hormones, muscles, and breath all rally, but sometimes we are not able to protect ourselves, and terrible things happen. We are pinned under the car. We are in charge of a checkpoint in Baghdad, and a car is coming at us without stopping. We are a young child in an abusive home, watching our parent passed out on the couch. If you like, please take a moment to reflect on the experience of being stuck in a very dangerous, life-threatening circumstance. What might this feel like in your body? Can you identify sensations associated with the idea of being trapped and unable to protect yourself? A primary reason that our bodies manufacture and secrete adrenaline is to get us to move fast. But we cannot move. The only reline is going to get us to move. A reason. I skipped a line, my bad. For our accelerated breathing and heart rate is so our muscles can get extra oxygen so we can get away. What happens when we cannot get away? When our body's natural protective response cannot be completed? Long after the traumatic event has passed, many survivors repeatedly find themselves in frozen states in which they are unable to engage their bodies and minds to confront the threatening or stressful situations. Wow, that reading I feel like was a very deep and meaningful share in how it's very real that in situations your adrenaline is the one thing you feel like you can really rely on. And I think, like the book says, long after the traumatic event has passed, you feel kind of frozen. And I think this reading is a great way to kind of transition into our trauma centered and trauma sensitive yoga for today, just to kind of feel those emotions and work through them in through yoga. So with that being said, I'm going to transition over to Kristin to bring in her yoga piece.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for sharing that, Mariah. And there's a ton of science behind all this. Like, that's kind of that passage in the book kind of is setting up, an explanation of why our body is so linked to like healing, how we heal from trauma. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask Mariah, or like you can also put questions in the comments for me too. Mariah knows she can just ask, throughout as we're moving. If you have things you want to know or comments you want to share, it's okay to speak up while we're doing the movement practice as well. And in a second, I'm going to head back to my mat behind me. If you have a mat, feel free to practice on that. You can also try this practice sitting in a chair. So whatever you want to try today. Also know that you might try everything I'm offering, but it's your choice. So you might just try a few things. If you ever need a rest or a break, that's your choice to take. So this is your practice to try what you are interested in. So feel free to engage with whatever you like and take a break whenever you want. So with that said, I'm gonna head back to my mat, and maybe we can meet maybe in sitting. So if you like, maybe we can come to sitting in whatever way feels kind of restful for you. And I forgot to mention too, feel free to have some water or tea nearby too. Sometimes during the practice, it can be nice to just rehydrate. I'm finding that with how cold it's been in Wisconsin here, with the heat running constantly, it is incredibly dry inside. So please hydrate whenever you like. So as we come to sitting, it's your choice how you want to sit. So some people like to sit with their legs crossed. Some people like to sit with one foot out or both feet out. So how you sit is your choice. You might rest your hands on your legs or on the floor. And as you're here, you might notice where your body is in contact with the floor. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. From here, if you'd like, you might bring some movement into your shoulders. So one way to do that might be to bring both of your shoulders up at the same time and down at the same time. Another option might be to bring one shoulder up and down, and then the other shoulder up and down. So you're in charge of how you want to move your shoulders. As you move your shoulders, you might notice sensation in your shoulders or in your neck. And whenever you're ready, maybe we can meet back in a neutral sitting shape. So in your own time, maybe bringing your shoulders back to stillness. From here, I thought we might try some neck movements. So it's your choice how you want to move your neck. One option might be to bring your chin to your torso. When you're ready, you might move your right ear toward your right shoulder. In your own time, maybe bringing your chin back to your torso. And if you'd like, you might move your left ear to your left shoulder. So you might choose to keep moving side to side, or you might choose to hang out on one side for a while before eventually moving your other ear to your other shoulder. So as you're moving your neck here, you might notice sensation along the sides of your neck or the back of your neck, depending on what shapes you're choosing. And whenever you're ready, maybe we can meet back in neutral. So in your own time, you might come back to a neutral spine. From here, if you'd like, we might try a twist. So one way to do that might be to bring your hands toward the ceiling. When you're ready, maybe rotating your torso to the right. As you like, you might bring your hands to the floor. And then as you're rotating your torso here, you might notice sensation in your outer ribs. Maybe noticing sensation in your lower back. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. When you're ready, unwinding, maybe bringing your hands back toward the ceiling. And if you'd like, maybe rotating your torso to the left. When you rotate it as far as you want, you might bring your hands to the floor. If it's useful or interesting to you, you might lengthen your spine here. So as you're rotating your torso, you might notice what it feels like in your body to be in this shape. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. And whenever you're ready, maybe unwinding. If you'd like, bringing your hands back toward the ceiling. Maybe reaching your fingertips to the ceiling. And when you're ready, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. From here, if you'd like, we might come to our hands and knees. So in your own time, maybe coming to your hands and knees. And if you'd like, you might bring your chin and your sitting bones toward the ceiling. When you're ready, bringing your chin toward your torso and maybe rounding your spine. So I thought maybe we could alternate between these two shapes for a few rounds. So if you'd like, maybe moving between bringing your chin and your sitting bones toward the ceiling. When you're ready, bringing your chin to your torso and rounding your spine. It's your choice how big or small you want to make these movements. And it's your choice how fast or slow you want to move here. As you're moving here, you might notice sensation between your shoulder blades. And you might notice sensation in your lower back. Whenever you're ready, whenever you feel like you've completed your last pair of movements, maybe we can meet back with a neutral spine. From here, I thought we might make our way up to standing. So there's a couple options for that. One option is you could just stand up in whatever way feels natural for you. The second way that I'll show is to kind of come up to standing through a forward fold. So that we might do some standing shapes following that. And some people like to do standing shapes barefoot. They just maybe, like me, I find I just have better grip on my yoga mat if I'm barefoot. So if you want to try standing shapes barefoot, now might be a good time to take off your socks or your shoes if you want to. But of course, you can keep your socks or shoes on as well. So if you'd like, you might stand up in whatever way feels natural for you. If you want to try that forward fold, one way to do that might be to tuck your toes. When you're ready, walking your hands toward your knees. In your own time, lifting your sitting bones toward the ceiling, coming into your forward fold. So it's your choice here how much you bend your knees. And it's your choice how far you fold your torso forward. So it's totally up to you how much you bend your knees, how far you fold forward. When you're ready here, you might bend your knees and sit back, kind of like you're gonna sit into a chair. And if you'd like, you might press through your feet, bringing your spine up to vertical, maybe reaching your fingertips toward the ceiling. When you're ready, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. So maybe noticing where your feet are in contact with the floor. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. From here, if you'd like, we might try a few more of those folds. So if you'd like, you might come more toward the top of your mat, if that works for you, or toward your space, whatever space you're practicing in. So if you'd like, you might stand with your feet kind of underneath you. When you're ready, bringing your hands to the ceiling. In your own time, maybe bending your knees, sitting back, and coming into your version of a forward fold. So some people like to fold like a quarter of the way. Some people like to fold like halfway. Some people like to bring their head toward the floor. So you're in charge of how far you fold. As you're folding, you might notice sensation in the back of your legs. Maybe noticing sensation in your back. If you'd like, you might lift your torso halfway, whatever halfway is for you. In your own time, folding again. When you're ready, bending your knees, sitting back, and making your way up to standing. If you'd like, reaching your fingertips to the ceiling. And when you're ready, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. So if you'd like, we might try a couple more of those folds. When you're ready, bringing your hands to the ceiling. In your own time, bending your knees, sitting back, coming into your version of a forward fold. Maybe noticing sensation along your legs here. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. When you're ready, lifting your torso halfway. In your own time, folding again. As you're ready, bending your knees, sitting back, and making your way up to standing. If you'd like, reaching your fingertips to the ceiling. And when you're ready, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Maybe one more time, bringing your hands to the ceiling. If you'd like, bending your knees, sitting back, coming into your version of a forward fold. If you'd like, lifting your torso halfway. When you're ready, folding again. As you're ready, bending your knees, sitting back, and making your way up to standing. If you'd like, reaching your fingertips to the ceiling. And when you're ready, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Maybe noticing where your feet are in contact with the floor. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. From here, if you'd like, I thought we might try some shapes, some other standing shapes. So the first one I'm thinking of, we might take a wide stance. So how wide you step here is your choice. And you can always make a different choice at any time for any reason. So maybe we can start by stepping wide, and then you might have both sets of toes facing whatever direction you're looking. So your toes and your eyes are facing maybe the same direction, if that works for you. When you're ready, you might turn your right toes to the side so that your right toes, your right knee, and your right hip are kind of in one line. And then for your left foot, you might keep your left foot just as it is. Or if you'd like, you might move your left heel away from your right heel so that your back foot is kind of pointing in at an angle. So feel free to try your back foot both ways and see what you want to try today. From here, if you'd like, you might bring your hands to your hips, maybe lengthening your spine. When you're ready, maybe bending your right knee toward your right ankle. It's your choice how far you bend your right knee toward your right ankle. And I thought we might explore here for a few rounds. Some people like to try this out like in stillness. They want to try this like keeping their knee bent. Other people like to make this into a movement by alternating between straightening and bending their knee. So it's your choice what you want to try out. Maybe we'll explore here for just a few rounds, either choosing one shape to try in stillness or maybe moving between two shapes. As you're here, you might notice sensation in the top of your right leg. You might notice sensation in your hips. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. Whenever you're ready here, you might bring your hands over your feet. So you might bring your right hand over your right foot and your left hand over your left foot. Maybe noticing sensation in your shoulders here. Whenever you're ready here, maybe we could meet with our right legs, or our right leg straight. If you'd like, you might reach your right hand toward your right foot. And when you're ready, maybe folding to your right. How far you fold to the right is your choice. So some people like to have their hand up above their knee. You might bring your hand lower. It's your choice how far you fold. As you're here, you might notice sensation along the back of your right leg. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. Whenever you're ready, maybe we could meet with a vertical spine. If you'd like, turning both sets of toes to face the same direction. And then maybe bringing both your heels together, toes together, heels together, toes together, until your feet are underneath you. If you'd like, bringing your hands to the ceiling. When you're ready, bending your knees, sitting back and coming into your version of a forward fold. So how far you fold here is your choice. Maybe noticing sensation along the back of your legs here. When you're ready, maybe lifting your torso halfway. In your own time, folding again. As you're ready, bending your knees, sitting back, and making your way up to standing. If you'd like, reaching your fingertips to the ceiling. When you're ready, bringing your hands together in front of your heart. So if you'd like to try those two standing shapes we just did on the other side, feel free to step your feet wide again. And you can always make a different choice at any time for any reason. So you can always adjust where your feet are. So maybe we'll start again with both sets of toes facing the same direction that you're looking. When you're ready, maybe turning your left toes to the side so that your left toes, your left knee, and your left hip are kind of in one line. And then for your right foot, feel free to keep your right foot just as it is. Another option might be to move your right heel away from your left heel so that your back foot is kind of pointing in at an angle. So you might notice some differences between your left and right sides, and you might make some different choices on this side. If you like, you might bring your hands to your hips, maybe lengthening your spine. When you're ready, maybe bending your left knee toward your left ankle. And it's your choice how far you bend your left knee. I thought maybe we could try this out for a few rounds. So it's your choice if you want to try one shape in stillness, or if you'd like to make this into a movement, maybe straightening and rebending your knee. So feel free to explore here. And you can always make a different choice at any time for any reason. In this shape, you might notice where your feet are in contact with the floor. You might notice sensation along the big muscle on the top of your back leg. Whenever you're ready, maybe bringing your hands over your feet. So you might bring your left hand over your left foot and your right hand over your right foot. Maybe noticing some muscles in your arms activating here. When you're ready, maybe we could meet with our left leg straight. If you'd like, you might reach your left hand toward your left foot. And when you're ready, maybe folding to the left. How far you fold to the left is your choice. So your left hand might go anywhere along your left leg here. So in this shape, you might notice some sensation behind on like the back of your left leg. Maybe noticing sensation along your right side. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. Whenever you're ready, bringing your spine back to vertical. If you'd like, turning both sets of toes to face the same direction. And then maybe bringing your heels together, toes together, heels together, toes together until your feet are underneath you. When you're ready, bringing your hands to the ceiling. If you'd like, bending your knees, sitting back and coming into your version of a forward fold. So how far you fold is your choice. If you'd like, you might lift your torso halfway. When you're ready, folding again. And instead of standing up this time, if you'd like, you might anchor your hands to the floor, maybe stepping your right foot and your right knee back, and then your left knee back. So maybe coming back to your hands and knees. If you'd like, you might kind of rotate here to orient yourself in whatever way feels kind of comfortable in your space. And then if you'd like, you might bring your big toes together, maybe stepping your knees wide. It's your choice how wide you step your knees. When you're ready, maybe sitting back toward your heels. And then a couple options here. One option might be to stack your fists and rest your forehead on your fists. Another option might be to rest your forehead on the floor, maybe reaching your arms along the mat above your head. So it's your choice here, maybe stacking your fists and resting your forehead on your fists. Or if you'd like, you might reach your arms along the mat, resting your forehead on the mat. So in this shape, you might notice sensation along your spine, maybe noticing sensation in your hips, maybe noticing if your breath is moving. When you're ready, maybe walking your hands toward your knees, maybe bringing your spine up to vertical. And from here, maybe we'll make our way back to sitting to try some more shapes sitting. So if you did take off your socks and shoes, now might be a good time to put them back on if you'd like to do that. So as we come into a sitting shape, for starters, feel free to sit however you like. So maybe with your legs crossed or with one foot out or both feet out, whatever you like. Now might be an optimal time to take some water or tea or whatever you want to hydrate with. So as we come to sitting, if you'd like, you might take your arms into a T shape. When you're ready, maybe bending your elbows to kind of come into a cactus shape. And then if you'd like, you might bring your elbows and your forearms and your palms together so that your arms make a kind of L shape in front of you. Here, it's your choice if you'd like to keep your elbows where they naturally land. Another option might be to lift your elbows toward the height of your shoulders. And I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing, but feel free to stay just as you are. So as you come into that cactus shape, maybe bringing your elbows and your forearms and your palms together. And then it's your choice if you want to keep your elbows where they naturally land, or you might explore lifting your elbows toward the height of your shoulders. In this shape, you might notice sensation between your shoulder blades. You might notice some core muscles activating. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. Whenever you're ready, maybe bringing your hands toward the floor. If you'd like, you might shrug your shoulders a few times if that feels useful or interesting to you. And then from here, if you'd like, I thought we might just explore some folding side to side. So one way to do that might be to plant your right hand on the floor at your side. When you're ready, maybe sliding your hand away from you. And it's your choice how far you want to move your hand. When your hand is where you want it, you might kind of anchor it to the ground. And then if you'd like, you might lengthen your spine. When you're ready, maybe bending your right elbow and folding your torso to the right. How far you move your torso here is your choice. And in this shape, you might notice sensation along your left side. Maybe noticing sensation in the left side of your neck. Be noticing if your breath is moving. Whenever you're ready, bringing your spine back to vertical. Maybe noticing if there's any sensation in coming back to a neutral shape. And then if you'd like to try that on the other side, you might plant your left hand on the ground, maybe sliding your left hand away. When your left hand is where you'd like it, you might kind of anchor that to the ground, maybe lengthening your spine. When you're ready, maybe bending your left elbow and folding your torso to the left. How far you fold to the left is your choice. So you might notice sensation along your right side. Maybe noticing sensation along the outside edges of your neck, the outer muscle of your neck. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. Whenever you're ready, bringing your spine back to vertical. Maybe noticing if there's any sensation in coming back to neutral. From here, if you'd like, we might meet stepping our feet wide. And I just want to check, can you for sure see my feet there? Okay, thank you. So as you come into this shape, it's your choice how wide you step your feet. And then for starters, maybe we can just alternate between like pointing your toes and flexing your toes toward your head. As you do that, you might notice some feeling along the back of your legs. When you're ready here, maybe we could meet with our feet back in neutral. If you'd like, you might take your hands under your knees. So maybe your right hand under your right knee and your left hand under your left knee. Maybe using your hands to lift your knees so you can bring the soles of your feet together. So in this shape, it's your choice how close your heels are to you. So some people like to move their feet a bit farther away. Some people like to bring their feet closer. So it's your choice how close your heels are to your body. So in this shape, a couple options. One might be to explore with a vertical spine, just as we are. Another option might be to fold your torso forward. So it's your choice how you want to try this shape. You might explore with a vertical spine, or if you'd like, you might fold your torso forward. No matter what version you choose, you might notice sensation in your hips, maybe noticing sensation along the back of your legs, maybe noticing if your breath is moving. Whenever you're ready, bringing your spine back to vertical if it's not there already. And then if you'd like, you might use your hands to help support your knees as you lift your knees. So maybe we can meet here with our feet flat on the floor and our knees up toward the ceiling. And I'm just turning to the side so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. So as you come to this shape with your feet flat on the floor and your knees up toward the ceiling, if you'd like, you might bring your hands to rest on the floor behind you for support. Feel free to orient your fingers whatever direction feels right for your wrists today. So maybe here, lengthening your spine. And if you'd like, you might lift your right foot and bring it back to the mat. Maybe lifting your left foot and bringing it back to the mat. So maybe we can alternate just for a few rounds, this kind of lifting and lowering your feet. As you do this, you might notice some core muscles activating. You might also notice some muscles along the inseam of your legs. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. And then whenever you're ready, maybe we can meet with both feet flat on the floor. And maybe one more time coming into that shape we just left. So if you'd like, you might move your right knee toward the floor on the right, maybe moving your left knee toward the floor on the left. Maybe bringing the soles of your feet together if that works for you. And then it's your choice if you'd like to try this out with a vertical spine or maybe folding forward. You can always make a different choice at any time for any reason. When you're ready here, maybe bringing your knees back toward the ceiling. And then if you'd like, we might make our way to trying just a few shapes laying down. So as you're ready, maybe we could meet laying on our mats or on the floor with both feet flat on the floor and both knees up toward the ceiling. So as you come into this shape with both feet flat on the floor and both knees up toward the ceiling, you might notice some sensation in your lower back. Maybe noticing where your body is in contact with the floor. And then if you'd like, you might bring your right knee toward you, maybe using your hands to draw your right knee in. When you're ready, bringing your right foot back to the floor. If you'd like, maybe using your hands to help draw your left knee in. When you're ready, bringing your left foot back to the floor. From here, if you'd like, you might cross your right ankle over your left knee. And it's your choice if you want to try this out with your left foot on the floor, just as we are. Another option might be to lift your left knee toward you. So your choice, maybe trying this out with your left foot on the floor, or you might lift your left knee toward you. No matter what you choose, you might notice sensation in your right hip. Maybe noticing sensation along the back of your right leg. Maybe noticing sensation in your lower back. Whenever you're ready, you might bring both feet flat on the floor and both knees up toward the ceiling. If you'd like, maybe crossing your left ankle over your right knee. And it's your choice if you want to try this with your right foot on the mat, or you might lift your right knee toward you. You might notice a difference between your left and right sides, so you might make some different choices over here. Maybe noticing sensation in your left hip. Maybe noticing sensation along the back of your left leg. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. Whenever you're ready, bringing both feet flat on the floor and both knees up toward the ceiling. And if you'd like, you might For this next shape, you might rest your arms on the floor in like a T shape or a cactus shape. When you're ready, maybe moving both of your knees toward the floor on the right. And then maybe moving both of your knees toward the floor on the left. Maybe moving both of your knees back to the floor on the right. So maybe we'll hang out with our knees on the right for a few rounds. And it's your choice if you'd like to look at the ceiling, or you might turn your head to look toward your left side. So maybe looking at the ceiling, or maybe turning your head to look toward your left side. Maybe noticing sensation in your hips. Maybe noticing where your body is in contact with the floor. And then whenever you're ready, maybe we could meet with both knees pointing toward the ceiling, maybe bringing your eyes back toward the ceiling. If you'd like to try the same shape on the other side, maybe moving both of your knees toward the floor on the left. When you're ready, moving both of your knees back to the floor on the right. And then maybe one more time, moving both of your knees to the floor on the left. Maybe we'll hang out with our knees on the left for a few rounds. And it's your choice if you'd like to look at the ceiling, or you might turn your head to look toward your right side. Maybe noticing sensation across your abdomen here. Maybe noticing sensation in your shoulders. Maybe noticing if your breath is moving. Whenever you're ready, bringing both knees back toward the ceiling. Maybe bringing your eyes back to the ceiling if they aren't there already. From here, if you'd like, you might bring your right knee toward you and your left knee toward you. Maybe using both hands to draw your knees in. If you'd like, you might move side to side to flatten your lower back on the mat. And then from here, I thought we might transition to the resting sequence we typically do at the end of each session. So some people like to rest laying down. So for some people, they like to rest stepping their feet wide and tilting their knees in toward each other. Other people like to rest extending their legs straight and resting on the floor. Other people like to rest sitting up. So feel free to come into whatever shape feels most restful for you. I always sit up at this point just to be able to kind of watch the space and watch the time, but feel free to rest laying down. If you do choose to rest sitting up, some people like to sit in the middle of the space. Some people like to lean against something or sit in a chair. So as we come into this resting sequence, you might notice where your body is in contact with the floor or any surfaces that are supporting you. You might notice if your breath is moving. If you'd like, you might allow the soles of your feet and the palms of your hands to feel soft. Maybe taking a breath into the lowest part of your abdomen. And whenever you're ready, exhaling. If you'd like, taking a breath into the space below your ribs. Whenever you're ready, exhaling. If you'd like, taking a breath into the space around your heart. Whenever you're ready, exhaling. Maybe resting your tongue on the bottom of your mouth. If you'd like, you might allow the skin on your forehead and your jaw to soften toward the floor. Maybe allowing your eyes to soften and your inner ears to soften. So we'll rest quietly here for just a few moments. You can always adjust at any time for any reason. And either you can make your way up to sitting on your own, or in just a few moments, I'll guide us there. Whenever you're ready, bringing small movements into your fingers and toes. If you'd like, you might rotate your wrists and your ankles. And if there's any way of moving that feels left unfinished, feel free to move in any way you'd like right now. Any kind of waking up stretch. Whenever you're ready, making your way up to sitting, if you're not there already. Coming to sit in whatever way feels restful for you. As you return to sitting, maybe one more time noticing where your body is in contact with the floor. Maybe one more time noticing if your breath is moving. If you'd like, bringing your hands together. And if you'd like, you might join me at the end of each yoga session. It's traditional to say namaste, which is a sacred Sanskrit word, and of the many meanings, one interpretation is the awareness in me sees and honors the awareness in you. So if you'd like to join me, feel free. In gratitude for our practice together today, namaste.
Thank you so much, Kristin, for bringing your healing energy into this space. And relatives, again, I encourage you to drop any comments or questions you have below in the comment section. As we're wrapping up today, I would like to remind you all that we do have a community survey linked to this live video. It is completely anonymous, and it is something that helps HIR Wellness keep our services completely free and best serve our community. I also would like to remind all of you that we do have a CARES warm line. If you or anyone you know is needing some support, I will paste it in the comment section right now. It is not a crisis line, but it is there. We have a lot of wonderful healers that are there to help you in any time of need. And I also wanted to remind everyone that we are only have 2 more Facebook lives that we will be doing TCTSY live for. So then we will be moving to an 8-week class over privately on Zoom. So if you're interested in joining us, please register by emailing one of our community healers, Jamie. I pasted her email in the comments section below as well. But other than that, you can join Kristin and Val and myself every Wednesday at 5 p.m., at least the next 2 Wednesdays. And yeah, thank you so much, relatives, for joining us today.